How does a company go from just an idea in a garage to a global force? It's not magic, and you know what? It's not really luck either. It's a system. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that exact system, the architecture of venture capital deal sourcing.
I mean, think about it. If you're an investor, there are literally millions of new companies popping up every single year. Your inbox is just a constant flood of pitches. So how on earth do you find that one company that's actually going to make a difference? It's like finding a needle in a haystack, except a haystack is the size of a mountain. Well, here's the secret. The best investors, they aren't just getting lucky. They're architects. They design and build these incredibly complex systems for one reason and one reason only, to find those needles. This isn't about rolling the dice and hoping for the best. It's a calculated, deliberate process.
Okay, so before we start looking at the actual blueprints for this thing, we gotta understand the foundation it's all built on. So let's get really clear on what deal sourcing actually is.
First up, the word deal. And you can just forget any ideas of shady backroom negotiations. In the venture capital world, a deal is simply an opportunity. It's a chance to invest in a young, promising company. That's pretty much it.
And sourcing? Well, that's the hunt. It's the constant, active search for those opportunities. It's about being the one proactively looking, not just sitting around waiting for a great idea to wander past your desk.
So you put those two words together, and what you get is the absolute lifeblood of any VC firm. Deal sourcing is the engine that drives everything. It's this nonstop, systematic process of finding and then vetting the companies of the future.
Right. But why go through all this trouble? Why the need for blueprints and architecture? Can't investors just, go with their gut? Well, the answer to that really gets to the core of what this whole game is about.
This quote right here is basically gospel in the VC world. Relying on luck is not a strategy. When you are drowning in a sea of noise, all those pitches and ideas, a well-designed system is the only thing that helps you find that one faint signal, the one that actually matters.
And the difference between the old way and the new way is, well, it's night and day. Think of it like this. The old, ad hoc way is like fishing with a single pole, just hoping you get a bite. But an architected system, that's a massive industrial fishing trawler with sonar. One is reactive, and you can only do so much. The other is proactive, systematic, and it's built to scale.
So, what does this architecture actually look like? What are the core pieces holding it all up? It really boils down to two fundamental and pretty different strategies: inbound and outbound.
Okay, so inbound is all about becoming a magnet. You build such a powerful brand and reputation that the best founders in the world literally come knocking on your door. Then you have outbound. That's the hunt. You're not waiting. You're actively going out using research and data to find the next great company, hopefully before anyone else even knows they exist.
And here's the crucial part. It's not an either-or thing. The truly elite firms have to master both. If you only rely on inbound, you become passive. But if you only rely on outbound, you might miss the genius who's trying to find you. It's this delicate dance between being a magnet and being a hunter, and mastering that dance is how you maximize your odds.
So we've covered the what and the how, the blueprints and the pillars. But now we get to the most important question of all, the why. Why go to all this trouble? Why is this architecture not just helpful, but absolutely essential for survival?
It's because of this number. Around 90%. That's the percentage of startups that just fail. That is a brutal, terrifying statistic. A venture capitalist's entire job is to somehow find the 10% that don't just survive, but succeed on a massive scale. Their deal sourcing architecture is the weapon they use to do.
But it's actually even bigger than just finding the 10%. The goal isn't just to pick winners and avoid losers. It's to find the real world changers, the true outliers, the companies that are going to fundamentally reshape how we live and work. That's the real prize this whole system is designed to find.
So, what does all this mean for you? Well, if you're a founder out there with a big dream, this is basically your roadmap to getting on an investor's radar. If you're an innovator, you're getting a peek inside the engine that funds so much of our technological progress. And if you're a student of business, this is a masterclass in a core function that shapes our entire economy.
Which leaves us with one final fascinating question. We've deconstructed the architecture of today, which is built on human networks, deep research, and intuition. But as AI gets smarter and data gets bigger, what happens next? Will the human architect be replaced by an algorithm? Or, in a world full of data, will that human judgment become more valuable than ever?